What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Jeffrey Harvey coming back to you like I always do. And today we're gonna switch it up a bit. As y'all know, I love basketball. I'm a huge fan of it. Um, my favorite team, diehard team, is the San Antonio Spurs. Unfortunately, they got knocked off the first round against the Denver Nuggets in the Game 7. But you know, I give them credit for fighting hard and all that too. And that's either here or there. It's always next year. But I want to focus on this the second round for both the East and the Western Conference. And I'm gonna start with the East first since it's more important. In case y'all know, it was the Boston Celtics versus the Milwaukee Bucks. And it ended up turning the Bucks winning the series 4-1. As I look at that series alone, I'm honestly say this. It was destined for Milwaukee to win. Me personally, last year, after the NBA Finals and LeBron James left Cleveland to go to the Los Angeles Lakers, I said to myself, with that happening and knowing how far Boston got without Kyrie Irving or Gordon Hayward, I chose them to go to the NBA Finals this year. Because of the pieces they had around them, and some people, sorry y'all, but the pieces they have around them, and people who was building up. Because when you look at a Terry Rozier, when you look at an Al Horford, when you look at a Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, did I mention? Oh, a Marcus Morris, and these guys like. They was doing their thing. A Marcus Smart, there you go. Like, they was doing their thing. And I felt like when it came down to Gordon Hayward being back, it messed up everything within the system because they were trying so hard to get him to sorry, battling a little bit of cold, but nonetheless, but they inserted Gordon Hayward back into the lineup. They was really trying their hardest to get him to get back in the rhythm like how he was in his Utah days. That wasn't the case, and I think with them pushing so hard, and with Brad Stevens should have took matters in his own hand and just switched the lineup up. It kind of like derailed everything. The chemistry was off, and everything wasn't just falling into place. You know what I mean? And it goes to say it heading into the playoffs. Because when I look at Game 1 against the Bucks, they was playing like their regular self, like what they needed to do. And everybody was just like coming as a unit, scoring, be defensive, fast breaks happening, like all those stuff. Game 1, we have us thinking like, okay, they could probably go somewhere, they can make it happen. But then Game 2 comes, they fell apart. Game 3 comes, put an APB out. You could say for Kyrie Irving, having a bad shooting night. Defense very lackluster. Jason Tatum didn't show up. Jaylen Brown didn't step up. Al Horford tried to contribute so much, but it was mostly the Greek Freak, Eric Bledsoe, Brook Lopez, and these boys, like they was just doing their thing. Like they took over from them. And then when you look at Game 4, same thing. It was just they went missing, and that's when I had me going back to thinking the chemistry. With them putting Gordon Hayward back in the starting 5, where he should not belong, they should have kept him on the bench. Limit his minutes, and then try to get him in the groove. I think everything would have been perfect right there. But y'all inserted him, and with them inserting Gordon Hayward into the lineup, it messed up Terry Rozier game. It messed up Jaylen Brown's game, Jason Tatum's. It messed up Marcus Smart and all of them. Like it really was a disaster. And Kyrie Irving taking the shots that he was taking it was just not a bad. It was a recipe for disaster. Because every miss, if Milwaukee had grabbed the board, they run him down to the other court, and it would either be a coast to coast score, or Giannis was just throwing it down on somebody. Like it was ridiculous. And I think when you look at all that right there, the mistakes Boston made, is what caused them the series. Because Giannis had him by their throats. He was pressuring them. And I think with him doing that shit, how much he really wants, to move forward into the playoffs and possibly head into the NBA Finals. His desire, his fight, everything. The team alone, they really want to make a statement. And I think they've proven it very well as time moves on. So we'll definitely see it, but they definitely moving on to the Eastern Conference Finals. Next, we have the Philadelphia 76ers versus the Toronto Raptors. This series was crazy. I can't even put it into words. Even the game on last night, it was just crazy. And I felt the game was out for grabs, meaning both teams wasn't shooting well. When you look at Toronto, that game alone, Kawhi Leonard, he didn't have a best shooting night. He shot another 41% and took 36 shots and ended up with 41 points. But I get into the last three as we progress. But nonetheless, Siakam, he's a good player, but he's not on that level where he could probably produce the way how Kawhi Leonard do. He has to be in a groove for that to happen. He can't do that on a nightly basis. You know what I mean? Then you got Kyle Lowry, who he played a solid game last night, but has to be better, especially now, like how the series been going. Who else as well? Serge Ibaka, Danny Green. These people, these guys right here, they just got to get better as time move on. But looking at this series and in Game 7 itself, Philadelphia has so many opportunities. And I think they could have won this. Honestly, they could have won. Their problem was, you got Ben Simmons, who only attempted 5 shots, made 4 out of 5. And not only that, y'all got to develop him a jump shot. Because I watched First Take. I'm a huge fan of First Take. And Stephen A. said this. Ben Simmons, if he could develop a shot, I'm honestly put it in his words. He's one shot away to being LeBron James. Because he's dominant in the paint. And he could really move around so much. Get you a layup, get you a dunk, those type of things. He just can't develop a shot. So I think once he start working on that, I'll tell you right now, mark my words, Philadelphia may go to the NBA Finals next year. If he does that. The same way with Joel Embiid. Why do you make him take so much shots? He should have his back to the basket. He's a post scorer. He's a stretch big. You need to take advantage of that and have him be that post scorer that we know he is. Stop forcing him to take threes. And I think that was Brett Brown's issue. He right there is a facilitator in the paint. You let him do that. You leave the rest to J.J. Redick. You leave the rest to a Jimmy Butler. You know what I mean? Those are people you should have taking those type of shots. Tobias Harris. They should be taking those shots. Joel Embiid cannot be at the top of the key or anywhere on the left or the right wing at a 3-point range. He's better than that. So I think they was abusing that too much and it caused them the game. And it also caused them the game too was the last 3 possessions in the fourth quarter. Shot clock violation. Toronto clamped them up. Some people got doubled. Some people lost on a one-on-one battle. And even off a timeout, it's a shot clock violation. So I think those bad plays cost them. And then the last possession where it was coming down to the wire and Philly, like, they couldn't get anywhere. They couldn't get a shot off. They couldn't drive in the lane so much. And then I forgot who lost the ball with Kyle Lowry. Got the steal, dished up to Siakam with the layup, and pushed the lead up some more. I'll give so much credit to Jimmy Butler. He handled his business through the series. I can never knock him off on that. I give him so much credit. However, Kawhi Leonard. That last shot shocked the hell out of me. Probably shocked the hell out of everybody. But Kawhi Leonard, this man was something special. And the way that he did the fadeaway shot off the sideline, and it bounced off, got a little bounce off, and then went in, that threw everybody off. It threw me off. And it shot me, and I'm happy for him. Because this goes to show you, when Kawhi Leonard gets serious, oh yeah, he aggressive. He's gonna shut you down. And I give him so much praise. Even in his days in San Antonio, I will never forget those days at all. I was happy to have a player like him on my team. You know, it's the reason why he's the Finals MVP. The defensive skills. And he's a scorer. You know, those main two things right there. It's the best of both worlds. You know? So, to see him hit that shot right there and the place erupted, you know, that was just, that was insane. And I'm proud of them. You know, it's been a while between the times getting knocked off in the second round, sometimes in the first round, and it didn't move on to the Eastern Conference Finals since, correct me if I'm wrong, I think 2001. Come on now. You got to give them more respect. Give them credit where credit is due. They ain't had the best game, but they got enough to get it done, so to speak. So, that will be your Eastern Conference Finals. The Milwaukee Bucks versus the Toronto Raptors. And, this is going to be an interesting series. Very, very interesting. By the time this video goes up, it will probably be the same night. However, I'm going to make my picks for who's going to win the Eastern Conference Finals. My pick is going to have to be... It's so tough. It is so tough because both these teams is going to put on a clinic. This probably going Game 7. But if I had to really put it together, I'm going to have to probably say Toronto. Toronto in 7. I'm going to stick with that. I was really thinking in my mind because of how Milwaukee's bench has been good versus Toronto's bench. And that's a slight edge I had. But some way or somehow, it's all going to fall on Siakam playing a good game. Well, having a good gaming series. Kawhi Leonard for sure. Kyle Lowry, Serge Ibaka, Marc Gasol. That's what it falls down to it. And I have faith they'll get it done. Like I said, it's going to be very tough. I said it's going to go to Game 7. So I got Toronto winning Game 7. Well, we'll see it's true. Moving on to the Western Conference now. We had the Portland Trailblazers versus the Denver Nuggets. Again, crazy series went to 7. Both teams put on a tremendous effort and did their thing. On the Nuggets side, I'm gonna say right now, Jamal Murray, you know, he's gonna be a problem in years to come. He's gonna be a problem, and his game shows it all. I give him so much credit for doing his thing. Nikola Jokic, the Joker. This man is, oh my God. The way I see him play and how unselfish he is, that shows me he'll go a long way. That is a championship mindset, if that make any sense. Like, Nikola Jokic plays the game how it should be played and really try to get his teammates involved. He gonna get his numbers and his rebounds and everything. That is never an issue. He gonna get his double-double. But his main goal is to get his teammates involved. So when you get like a Jamal Murray involved, you get a Will Barton involved. If you get this guy Craig, you get him involved. Everybody else is going to fall into place, and they'll become this dominating team. And this series has showed you it. But this game 7 though, it was a terrible shooting night for Jamal Murray. Then for the Denver as a for them shooting 3-pointers, it was horrible. If I'm not mistaken, I think they shot 10% from 3-point range. It was terrible. Sorry, it was terrible. I really got nothing else to say about that. Portland ended up winning the game. And C.J. McCollum. You talking about having a point to prove? C.J. McCollum showed us why Portland should not be messed with at all. See, last year when they got into the playoffs, it was just embarrassing on two. And Damian Lillard, C.J. McCollum felt ways about it, and it was just like it was just ridiculous. The whole team did. So, looking at it from that year to this year, they really wanted to make it happen. They wanted to go a long way. And I felt like even with Damian Lillard, they didn't have a good game at all. That game 7. But he still contributed enough to be able to close it out. Well, I actually seen Jimmy McCollum close it out being that mid-range shooter. It's like Denver never had an answer for him. Yeah, they were scoring here and there, but with C.J. McCollum has the ball and he's in his groove and he tells everybody move out the way, and he take a couple dribbles, drives in, push your opponents off, and take that mid-range shot. It was special. This man played phenomenal. And I think with Denver, going to next year, should keep the same team, but work on their 3-pointer shots a lot more. And get into the paint a lot more. That's mostly it. Because even with this group right here, they can go a long way. That's no debate. They can go a long way. So, which we'll probably see. But Portland is moving on to the Western Conference Finals, and that should be very interesting. Hopefully Enes Kanter could get a lot more better than when he did the series too. I know they don't got Yusuf Nurkic no more. That injury he have, so he won't be able to play in these playoffs. So we shall see. But congrats to Portland. I'm happy for them. And for them making it to the Western Conference Finals, the last time they made it was in 2000, so to speak. But I'm happy for them. So get them credit where credit is due. Now, moving on to the next one. The Houston Rockets versus the Golden State Warriors. I'm going to be honest. I chose Houston to win a Game 7. Just because Golden State, as we know, is not going to fall apart. If one player like a Stephen Curry, which it actually has a bad shooting night, somebody's going to step up. Whether it's a Klay Thompson, whether it's a Kevin Durant, somebody was stepping up. And this right here shows you. Game 1, Kevin Durant went ballistic and beat Houston. Game 2 was the same old thing. And it was just crazy. Then, Game 3, they go to H-Town. Houston take care of the business. James Harden has a good shooting night. Chris Paul had a good game, wasn't the best. Eric Gordon had a very good game. PJ Tucker had a very good game. Clint Capella was all right, but still, like a little bit of it got the job done. And their bench was very solid. And that was the time too. Kevin Durant was just being Kevin Durant, that lethal shooter. And that series, that game, Steph didn't have a very good shooting night. Klay didn't have a good shooting night. You know, Game 4, you can say it was kind of a repeat because Houston defended their home court. But moving on to Game 5. Game 5, Houston down by 15. KD gets hurt, and it looked like a mild calf injury. He don't return. Right then and there, in Houston mind, that should have been, you put your foot on their throats. Put your foot on their throats and you destroyed them. That was the opportunity. And I swear, when they cut the lead down, the deficit down to take the lead, it was like, okay, here we go. But some way or somehow, it ended up with Golden State still beating the Houston Rockets, which I did not understand. Y'all had it right there. And Mike D'Antoni, I'm going to be perfectly honest right now, his system do not work at all. It ain't work in Phoenix. It ain't work in New York. It ain't working in LA. And it sure as hell ain't working in Houston. They made it do well in the regular season, but when it comes to clutch time in the postseason, it's just terrible. And I felt like Game 5 they shouldn't have lost. Once they cut that 15-point deficit down, that was their game to win. And they let it slip away. Bad shot selections, messy possessions, like it was ridiculous. You know, so Game 5 was done. And even the owner of Houston, he was livid. Because he knew coming into this, even with James Harden, not James Harden, sorry about that, Kevin Durant, his injury, he knew that was their golden ticket to finish him off. And y'all had him. Y'all fucking had him. And y'all blew it. So it's bad enough they lost their Game 5. But going back home to Game 6, you would have thought that Houston would have took care of business. They would not lose. Coming into that game, James Harden had a good game. Chris Paul had a good game. Monica, and here's the thing: Steph Curry went scoreless in the first half. Went scoreless. Klay Thompson went off. He was carrying the load that first half. So even then, going into the third quarter, you would have thought defensively they would have figured it out. Well, we thought wrong because third quarter, Steph Curry went ballistic. He went ballistic in the third, and the fourth, he cleaned up. What happened? Eric Gordon didn't get that much touches. As far as I know, Eric Gordon been a good player. He been the best second player in the series. Eric Gordon didn't get that much touches. PJ Tucker didn't get that much touches. I didn't see people like Gerald Green, been allowed so much and been effective. Clint Capella. I don't know what was going on with him. It looked all over the place. And every time they fucked up, Steph Curry made them pay. If it wasn't him, it was Klay Thompson. And the bench, Golden State bench, Cook, Sean Livingston, Iguodala, these boys handled their job. They did their job as role players. With that happening, and Houston trying to shoot their way out of a deficit, causing the game, and now eliminated. So I look at it from this perspective right now, and I'm gonna honestly say, D'Antoni does not belong in Houston. He does not. My personal opinion, he don't belong there at all. So now it's like, what you gonna do? Because this was your opportunity to knock them off, win 2 straight games, knock them off, and go to the Western Conference Finals, or could have been the NBA Finals. And I think that's what they fucked up at. There's no turning back after this right here, because they know they should have got their job done. So somewhere, somehow, they got to get their shit together. And unless Golden State breaks up or somebody beat them, I don't see them going to the NBA Finals as long as Golden State Warriors as a whole. Unless Kevin Durant leaves, then it leaves a somewhat chance for them to take care of that. But even I don't trust it because of the performance that they've been doing now, what they had, and what Golden State was able to do. So we're going to have to see. But nonetheless, Houston got eliminated. Golden State wins. So the Western Conference Finals will be the Golden State Warriors versus the Portland Trailblazers. Obvious, I'm probably going to say Golden State at 5. I think Portland going to get at least one game in. One game. So I picked Golden State to win that series and head to the NBA Finals. But we shall see. It's going to be a competitive game for sure with the two backcourts. You got Stephen and Klay, and you got Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. It's going to be wicked, and it's going to be a shootout. As long as Damian Lillard gets in the flow and really, handle his business, it could be that way. But we're going to have to see. So, nonetheless, I love these playoffs. It's getting very, very competitive. And I can't wait to see. Tomorrow is going to be Golden State versus Portland. That's going to be interesting, game to see. Must watch. And then on Wednesday is going to be Milwaukee versus Toronto, which is going to be interesting. But, you just got to tune in and see how it is. But anyhow, let me know your opinions about these the second round of the NBA playoffs and all that too. And if there's anything, if you got any questions, leave a comment down below. Let me know how y'all feel about this. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel and all too. And I'm gonna continue putting out more content as much as I could. Touching on anything. Whether it's basketball, WWE. I'm gonna try to get into the NFL flow. I'm probably might wait until the season coming up to start getting into it, and we'll talk more about it. I'm gonna throw it out there for the NFL. Yes, I'm a diehard Dallas Cowboy fan. People may hate it, but what can you say? But nonetheless, that's another subject for another day. But you let me know how y'all feel about that. And share, like, comment, subscribe to my channel and all that too. And I highly appreciate it. I thank y'all for watching so much. Make sure y'all tune in to the NBA playoffs tomorrow. I think it's Golden State versus Portland. And then Wednesday is going to be Milwaukee versus Toronto. So, y'all let me know what y'all thought about it. And I'm going to holler at y'all. Peace.